Peace, top of the day break. Sitting in my car having lunch and um just came to a realization about a whole bunch of things that have been going on in the world. It's kind of like all the elephants that are in the room. I feel like it's like a stampede of them getting ready to come and just trample everything. I keep picking up on the bull and the lion. Divination, the nodes of the moon, um, and where the MC and the IC of the moon is. The MC is the aspect of your father. The IC is the aspect of mother. Um, the IC is the lowest point below the horizon. The MC indicates your horizon where you rise at. Okay. I know a lot of that sounds encrypted, but this is really what it means, as simplest as I can explain it. It goes back to the aspect of the morning star, the rising and setting of the sun, days, times, and ages. Okay. Um, so if we have all of this going on right now with the MC, which is the highest point, the rising point, that's supposed to be coming up above the horizon, with Taurus to the north of the moon, so we're supposed to ascend that back through the moon. Something with the south node in Scorpius. And I keep picking up on Sagittarius. But right now, there's this fantastic alignment in a critical high degree between Pluto, Mars, and Venus. So it's like the aspect of the romantic couple. You know, we all were taught that men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So this is the aspect of what's coming back. Okay. So a lot of us have heard about the morning star. The morning star does tie to Aries and Venus, which in Latin, Venus is Lucifer. So the morning star is coming back. It also goes back to different things and deities like Persephone, who was Hades' wife, and she spent 6 months in the heavens and 6 months in the underworld. Or the story of Anina, the Queen of Heaven, or as most Jamaicans and or people of Rasta believe in I and Ra. So the reason why a lot of us are getting confused and it's baffling us and stopping us on trying to get to truth is the very basic simple aspect of how things twist as they come down. Okay. So think of it like a cylinder, right? Or when you go to open something, you have to twist it to open it, right? So you have to hold the top of it. And 9 times out of 10, if you ever tried to open a jar, both of your hands will twist. Okay. So I'm going to switch it this way so it's easier. So it's kind of like something's going to flip and twist like this. Okay. So our poles and everything that is us is shifting and twisting like a mechanism of something, right? Like a clock like this. Okay. So a lot of what's going on and why we're feeling uncomfortable is because it reminds me of the aspect of the movie Dark Crystal. Now, I always grew up and I loved Dark Crystal, and I always resonated with the character of Agra. Agra was this character to where um, the Skeksis won over her trust. She entrusted the Skeksis to watch over her creation and the clocks and the rotations, the processions of the equinoxes and things while she slept because she was tired. She went to sleep. When she woke back up, she noticed that the destruction of her world, what happened with the world, was just not what she said that it was going to be and not what they told her that they would do to it when they governed it. What they did is they split the um, aspect of the mystics and the shamans from the ones that were into government and control philosophies and sciences. So the aspect of how people saw science and religion and belief started to shift and it split while Anina, I, Jah was asleep. And this is where a lot of people are getting confused, and you have a lot of people arguing about who came first, what came first, this, that, and the other. I believe that God is a verb, so it's energy. So if it's energy, then it means that it has to move. The movement that's currently going on right now has got to change. The control, the destruction, the ego, the out of balance aspect of the space of the lion what is crumbling, and what a lot of us are not dealing with correctly, because we have to tear down and dismantle all of the false images, all the false gods, all the false priests, prophets, all of these things that infiltrated all of the houses that were stolen. Okay. I'm not really a religious person. I'm more spiritual, but I do like to dig into deeper aspects of things. So this is one of the deeper aspects of things that I've been uncovering, and it's been baffling to me, like how unsettling it's been just to get back to this space of what a lot of people call wholeness, oneness, whatever. I call it 0.00 energy. Okay. I think of it like when you balance the tires, right? Perfect alignment, everything's at 0.00. Car runs great when it's at 0.00. What many of us are struggling with is closing out the spaces and things that we know we need to get out of. The things we're addicted to, that relationship that you don't want to close out of, that family that you don't want to walk away from, that divorce you don't want to submit, that job you don't want to quit, or vice versa. It could be the job you don't want to start, or the business you don't want to start, or the location that you don't want to move to because you think you don't have enough. Because what's all breaking down now is the aspect of our minds and having information and energy flow more fluid like this. And it's hard for us because it's been so stagnated for so long. And now we're getting this amp up of energy, right? And no matter what's going on in the world and in Ukraine with this, that, and the other, it is not going to do anything but fall and fold. This is the changing of the age, and it's time for that old age to end. We're going to be in the last stages of transformation and shutting things down and tearing stuff down until 2024, 2025, somewhere around there. And with that, Pluto for transformation, change, discernment, wisdom, death, transformation, endings and beginnings. That's what Pluto is, the order of 9. Like, how do you show up when it comes to knowing, when it comes to intellect, when it comes to charity, when it comes to love? How do you show up for your fellow man? How do you show up for these things? Are you brave enough to dig through the sludge of some of the darkest aspects of things and reveal it without breaking your own heart? That's the trick. Or you have to be brave enough to break your own heart before other people do it. It's a little bit easier when you break your own heart than when you sit back and you let other people break your heart. The aspect of Mars is the aspect of our force, our actions, how we show up, how we move. Are you moving? Are you being stuck in wanting to just sit in a space of control, a space of greed, a space of, you're using people, manipulative energy, all these other things. That's that out of balance aspect of the Mars that's coming out that a lot of us are seeing that we're not liking, and it's making us very uncomfortable. And then we have Venus coming in, which is going to give us to a space of our love, our beauty, our fertility, how we treat each other. Charity again. Here we go again with this aspect of charity and hope and love, right? But you also have to make sure that you balance these things. You have to balance them. We are getting away from the space of using things out of control, where we're using the lion out of balance, we're using the bull out of balance, we're using these things and spaces of these things completely out of balance. And what's reflecting on us from the Most High is what we hide on the inside of us. Like, a lot of us are struggling now because we're going through the aspect of getting that inner child in us to stand up, getting that space in us to stand up, activating our destiny, activating our divinity, our bravery and our strength. That's the space of the lion. The bull is going to get you to a space to where you push, you keep pushing. You don't take no for an answer. You're very practical. You're very this, you're very that. But you have to have the discernment of certain other elements, the water, the birds, things of this nature, to be able to swiftly move through what's breaking down here in our conscious and our subconscious minds and breaking down here in our heart space. It's the aspect of the Sphinx, right? The Sphinx is the space and face of a woman with the body of an animal. So we're really going through these animalistic aspects of us that we need to let go of. The bloodlust aspect, the control aspect, the greed aspect, the being distant aspect, all of these things. And so it's hard for us. And this transit between Pluto, Mars and Venus is really going to cause some very impactful shifts in all of us, on top of the Neptune's going to make you sacrifice, Jupiter is going to expand, Saturn's going to contract. So if you have expansion going on in spaces where you know you need to contract them and change them, what do you think you're doing in your world? You're going to keep something around that needed to close out a long time ago. And no matter what, Planet 9 and the Order of 9, which is also in the book of Galatians, goes back to Paul's writings, which you must be careful with. And learning how to use it correctly. Because right now, the power of 9 has been running out of balance for a very long time. And it's time to get back to the order of being kind. Like, how do you treat your fellow human being? Are you going to show up and help anybody? Are you going to treat your brother the way you would want to be treated? You're going to see so much stuff come to light. But it's about time for it to come to light. So be brave enough to get through it. Don't be afraid of the weight of the waters, because these waters that are taking hold are heavy. Heavy. Think of it as the space where all the secrets go to die. The waters. So now all this stuff that was buried in the waters has to be revealed first. We're going to be going through this for the next 2 years. It's not going to get any easier. I wouldn't buy any houses this year. I would get into trying to extend your credit, even if it's on secured state spaces right now, because the houses that are flowing right now are the money houses. Okay, so we have to flip the way that we were taught to look at finances and revenue and flip it upright. So that's what's going to be the trick. So what was once thought like below, it's kind of like the sun's coming up above the horizon, and this one on this end is setting. So you got one coming up and you have one setting. That's where you get the symbol of the Pisces from, the 6 and the 9. I think that's about all I wanted to say right now on this one, because I got to get ready to go back to work. I may edit it and upload it, fix it. I have no idea yet, but I just wanted to record this, document this, right? Peace with love, the Aquarius.